So today we are going to speak about startups, businesses, the opportunities, the threats, how to evaluate a business, and how to implement a strategy. Mohammed, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Sure. My name is Mohamed Ali. I'm the managing director of Lemon LLC. It's an agency that provides software development services and also digital marketing services. Okay. Basically, myself, I've been working in the marketing field starting from a business development specialist since 2007. So I have around 13 years experience in the digital marketing field since no, I mean, not a lot of people were familiar with Google Ads. I used to run those on 2008, all right, or actually 2009 to be more specific. I have been into also software development since 2013, right? I participated in very good software development projects such as Good Smart, all right, and also I've been working on an InstaShop user interface and user experience. I have a team around like 15 to 20 employees, all right, with different tasks and different positions. So that's pretty much everything about myself.
That is awesome. So let's start with the key question. What are business KPIs?
Sure. What are business KPIs? Okay. Now, every business is simply has, numbers to be achieved. Those are the KPIs, okay? Key performance indicators. Let me explain in very, very simple things, okay? Let's say, for example, a product like an FMCG product, all right? And he has the just new in the market, so they want to achieve certain number of sales, okay? That's a KPI, all right? So through this KPI, they hire or they have their own in-house marketing team that help them to achieve the number of sales required for example, for a quarter, for the year, for the semi-annual, right, or whatever the number is. So that's in very simple term what is a business KPI.
What other examples of KPIs are there?
Sure. There are a lot of KPIs. There are internal KPIs such as employee KPIs, all right, or key performance indicators for the employees and their performance. All right, this is a matrix of things that being controlled by the HR team and also by certain layers of managers, right? To be able to measure the performance and effectiveness of each employee. This is something that could be measured every quarter, all right? And it's preferably to be measured every quarter, not every month, because every month is simply a very short period, and every quarter is enough for people to pick up things, all right? That's for internal KPIs. For a business KPI is basically it's about the amount of sales, the expenditure, everything, all right, the revenues, everything. That's a KPI, all right? So in order for you to succeed, you have to have a certain goals. So if I'm going to be replacing the word KPIs, I'm going to replace this with goals, individual, as a group, and as a company, and as a group.
So let's go to a related question here. How do you evaluate
Sure.
a business or a startup?
Okay, how do I evaluate? I mean, evaluation, this is a really broad word, okay? So evaluation comes in two things. Number one is basically uh, the evaluation that's in terms of the value of the business. Like, for example, Apple, this is valuated. This is the only company in the world that the valuation in terms of money is over $1 trillion. Another valuation is the value that's being added to the market, okay? Such as, for example, Airbnb, all right? This is a really value business, okay? Because it has found something, all right, that not everybody has been taking care of. It found a sector of things, okay? So they can be able to monetize unused homes or unused rooms, all right, for travelers or international travelers or even local travelers, all right? So the evaluation, this is something that I look at in terms of adding value and also how big is the brand that I'm going to be working with. And also the founders. The founders this is a really important thing, all right? Because there are founders that can literally take a kiosk on the street into $1 billion company, and there are founders that can take $1 billion company into nothing. So those are the three main factors: the value of the business, that's in terms of money and capital, assets, and so on and so forth, and the market value, all right, which is the value that's being added by the product or the services that's being introduced, and last but not least is, of course, the value of the founders. And look at Steve Jobs and what happened to Apple.
Yeah,
that's an example.
So my next question is so related. Like, before deciding that you want to help a business or can help a business, how do you look at the business itself? I mean, in terms of, let's say, opportunities, weaknesses, strengths. How do you look at this business or startup?
Sure. Okay. Now, the most important thing that I start look at is the product itself. Then I start looking at competitors. All right. Competitors is divided into two main things: indirect competition and direct competition. Okay. Then we start the analysis process. The analysis process is really important because this process we find things, all right, that matter, and I mean, it draws us away for us, or a path for us to succeed with this business. All right. So the most important thing is the competition analysis. That's the most important thing, right? How the competition of this business is being there. All right. How do you market the business? How the public have a perspective about the competition business. All right. And analyze the business itself. I mean, analyze what their stance and what the public are seeing them, all right, and how the business is performing, all right, and the existence, of course, on digital platforms and also offline platforms, okay. Then comes the SWOT analysis. From the competition analysis, all right, I start with the SWOT analysis: the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I actually would like to replace the word threat into challenges, okay, so it's going to be SWOT instead of SWOT, okay. We start with the strength point, which is the main points, all right, that the business can have, or pillar that the business can be built on, okay. The weaknesses is what is missing over there. I'll give you an example for the strength. For example, have a product in your mind, for example, and let's say any product, let's say, for example, Midtown or a company works in real estate or a real estate developer, okay? The strength, all right, is the main pillar. So let's say, for example, they deliver projects in time, okay? People are satisfied with their projects and the quality of the project. That's really strength point. Now, the weaknesses, right, comes, for example, like the market. The market itself right now in Egypt, right, is not really like a couple of years back in terms of selling real estate assets or real estate buildings or real estate houses or whatever, okay? So this is a weakness, all right? And also opportunities. Now, there is an opportunity. What is the opportunity? Then it comes, okay, now there is this new capital that's being built right now. So a lot of people are just like leaving Cairo, right? Leaving the old capital and just moving over there. So we have to have a project over there. This is the opportunity, okay? Threats or challenges, as I said, all right, which is, of course, it comes to cash flow. This is the most important challenge that people are facing, okay? Now, also there comes the, let's say, for example, if the business is depending on services and those services are being performed by employees, that's a threat, because they basically, if the employees are not happy or not satisfied, you might be losing your business, okay, because this is a service-based business, okay, and so on and so forth, right? So that's what comes after that, which is the SWOT analysis, okay, or the SWOT analysis, okay. Now, after building that, or after doing the research, we start on analyzing the main points, all right, that we can build on. This is the most important. So to understand this is really important, but to understand and have an action plan, okay, on having a foundation for the success of this business, this is the most important thing. And this is what makes a marketing team better than the other. You see what I'm saying?
So the next question, after you have evaluated a business from your point of view and from the SWOT or the SWOT analysis, how do you come up with a strategy?
Okay. Now we finalized the working on the analysis, or finalized working on the analysis. Now it comes to the most important thing, which is writing up the strategy. Okay. Strategy starts with what we want to achieve. That's the most important question. Okay. Now, as a business, right, wants to achieve success. So what is success for you? Okay, now success for me is more revenues. Success for me is keeping my employees happy. My success for me is many things. Okay, so let's talk about the part that's really talk about me or really belongs to me, which is I want to achieve more revenues. Okay, so we start with the strategy. The strategy is I have the product, and the product is going to be sold for business to business. Okay, this is like, for example, a SaaS service. All right, that's going to be a subscription based. All right, and it has going to be having a value for the businesses that's going to be using this. So let's say, for example, like a project management software that fixes a problem, like for example, automation or something. Okay, now we build a strategy and say, okay, this is really good. So what type of employees that we want? Okay, this is a buyer persona. All right, what type of clients, what type of interest that we're looking for. That's another buyer persona specification. Okay, so we start by having the buyer persona. Now we have the buyer persona right now. How are we going to be approaching them? Okay, let's say, for example, I target people that in the age group from 25 to 35. Okay, so what are their daily consumption? Are they going to be using TV, for example, or going to be using Facebook, or are you going to be using LinkedIn? Okay, now I'm looking for more professionals. So I think I'm going to be using LinkedIn and some Facebook groups like Lean Startup or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to be starting on having those platforms. Now, the second thing, how we're going to be talking to them, which is the content, the most important thing. Content is strategy. Okay, now those people, they don't like to be talked to as in a kiddish tone, all right, or not in a serious tone. We just want to have this tone in the middle. Okay, so all right, we're going to be having this tone in the middle. What language we're going to be introducing, or we're going to be interacting with them? Are we going to be using plain English? Or are we going to be using Arabic? How we're going to mix things up? Okay, so we're going to be talking, for example, in English, because those people really are immersed into the language. Everything is about English for them. Okay, so we're going to be talking English and presenting the value in English. Okay, that's the second part of the strategy. Now let's talk about the art direction. Should we have like cartoonish art direction, or we should be having more of real photos art direction, or we're going to be having more videos, audios, and so on and so forth? All right, so let's say, for example, those are professionals. So I think we're just going to be using a photo, okay, and we're going to be using videos, tutorials. Okay, tutorials is really important for them because they are interested in the product. They don't need like a very epic tone TV commercials. Just want to talk about, okay, what value for me? All right, I want to see it. Okay, if they got into YouTube, I'm gonna be hiring influencers in their field, and so on and so forth. This is what a strategy is. Okay, so after having those written up, right, we start introducing things into the market, whereas the magic can happen or the failure can happen as well. All right. So basically, we start introducing things, we make ad spending, media buying, having data collection, and from data collection, we base decisions, and so on and so forth. So based on those decisions and based on those analytics, we're gonna know if we are successful. Hopefully, we are, right, or not. So this is what strategy and implementation are.
So the next question is, what is a business persona and how do you build it?
A business persona, all right, that's a very tricky question. Okay, all right, a business persona that relies on many things, from how the founders look at it, all right, from the product, from everything. But I'm gonna be starting with what everybody is looking at, which is the logo. The first thing that you land on a Facebook page, and what you're gonna be finding, a logo. That's the first thing. Then the business name itself. Okay. Make sure that the business name is up to something. It has a story. Okay. I'll give you an example. Lemon. Why Lemon? That's as a word, it doesn't make sense. Okay. But I'll tell you a story. Hopefully it's going to be interesting for the viewers. Okay. Now, Lemon. It's called actually Lemon AI. Lemon. Why lemon? Lemon is really essential in our life. I mean, you can just you don't want, you're not gonna be going to the fridge and find the lemon and just like grab it and eat it. It's like, it tastes really bad. Okay, but what if you put it on salad? How it's gonna be?
Yeah.
What if you put it on your soup? What if you put it on your recipes? It makes a difference. So it's essential, but you can't take it alone. Just like software development, this is code. People just in front of their screens shouting, doing everything. Okay, so but it's really essential. I want to sell online. This is something that I have to go through, which is development and coding. All right. Now, marketing. A lot of things happen in marketing, but it's really essential. So that's what lemon is. It just like adds the taste about it. So why AI? Because this is artificial intelligence age. So if we mix the two words together, that makes the difference. Lemon eye. All right. So this is a business persona. I mean, how did your perception of this story? Did you feel something different about the brand or not? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So it's all about this, like the voice tone, how you gonna be speaking to your viewers, what kind of story that you can be telling them, right? Let's be honest. If you even have the best product in the whole world, if you're not gonna be having a story around it, it's not gonna sell. Why people love Star Wars? Why people love Batman? Why people love fictionary characters? Because of the story. We are Homo sapiens and we love fiction. We just like dream about fiction. So that's the story. So if the business doesn't have a story, create one. If you don't have a story, try to find one. If you have a story, people might buy it. And if you have a good product, this is what your persona will be in terms of retention. People will keep coming back. That's what a business persona is.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is really awesome.
Thank you.
So, looking at the Egyptian environment, the context, where do you see the main weaknesses in the Egyptian businesses and the startups?
Well, I'm not a judge, okay? So, but I mean, I'm in business for 7 years right now since 2013, and I've been in business for almost 13 years, so 5 years like an employee, all right, going back and forth, all right, and the business itself is going back and forth. So I'm not like a very successful entrepreneur, still like trying to find a way, all right. But let me tell you something. Outside or internationally, the business is depending on the product, okay? And what I mean is depending on the product. People are trying to build a product than a business, okay? Now, the problem over here, the people want to build a business before building a product. I mean, everybody's like having an idea and just like, I'm seeking an investment. Okay, what should I do? I mean, I want to talk to investors. Like, you just need to build something for them so they can be able to invest something, right? People are celebrating here in Egypt about their investment rounds, but not what comes after that. People are celebrating that we got recognized, but not how many people have been buying my product. Okay, that's the only problem. A little bit of a mentality. And again, I'm not a judge, okay, but this is how I see things from my own poor point of view. I mean, business, that's a brutal work. Okay. So basically, every day, if your employees are working for 8 hours, you're working literally for 18 and 19 hours. If you are having a task in hand, if your employee is taking care of it, you're taking care of it double the time. Okay. Because this is what your company is doing. Right. If your employee is complaining about, for example, he didn't get paid for 2 or 3 days, you are responsible of delivering payroll every single month for how many employees, for whatever. Okay. If you are going to have a car, prepare yourself because you might lose it the second day right away. If you have something in your business, you are the only person that's responsible for everyone. And not just responsible for the employees, you're responsible for the employees and their families. Right. Everybody is responsible in a way. All right. But the problem again over here that people are not building companies. They are not building products. They are building. They just want to be called entrepreneur, right? They want to be called a CEO. Being a CEO is not just a word that you can be able to give yourself. Being a CEO is someone that a visionary enough, all right, that can take a business from point A to point Z. He can be able to actually deal with reports, deal with taking decisions based on data, taking decisions based on this. He is the only person that if he's not there for 6 months, still the company exists. So before you call yourself a CEO, and this is an advice for everybody, I mean, before you call yourself a CEO, just ask yourself one thing. If you're not there for the next couple of weeks, what will happen for your company? Is it going to be still running? If you're not going to be there for the next 3 months, if the company depends on your existence, you're not having a company. You don't call yourself a CEO. All right. But if you know how to build a process within this company that everybody, right, will be taking care, or everybody will be working in, then congratulations, you are part of CEO. You can be able to start working on getting the full title. So I can say that's the difference between the ecosystem over here and ecosystem around the world. Just a little bit of mentality. People need really to celebrate actual success of the business, not just titles, investment rounds, or anything. Because for me, celebrating an investment round, a little bit, you know, not really the word that I'm looking for. I'm not going to be using it, but basically, you sold a part of your company and you are owing the other people money. So you have to work more, double the time. So that's the only difference. That's it.
Okay, that's really insightful. So my other question here, like, what main advantages in the, let's say, international businesses and the startups you would like to see in the Egyptian ecosystem?
Okay, now the most important thing that I want to see outside, okay, is the help of governments. Okay, the help of government over here is really important for the startups. We have really great startups. Okay, I mean, I can call few, all right, and I could call a lot, all right. I mean, I'm an admirer of Amr Fauzi, the founder of Good Smart. I'm an admirer of the founder of Highland, all right? I'm an admirer of the founder of Talabat. I'm an admirer of those people, but they are very few, all right? The only problem is we just need to make sure that there is support from the government. That's one thing. Second thing is the support for young entrepreneurs and also female entrepreneurs, which is really few over here in Egypt, all right? We need to have better infrastructure for our business. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me, for example, to just like rent an office for my startup and it cost me $1,000 a month. That's minimum. Okay, that's a lot of money for me. Okay, and that's on rent. So rent is not gonna be generating any money, just like a place. All right. So the most important thing for me are the things that I want to implement over here in the ecosystem is really, really, really ease the laws for investments. That's one thing. Motivate or talk to more investors to invest here in Cairo, right? And also have international entrepreneurs come and find or start their startups over here in Egypt. And a lot of people will be finding a lot of jobs. They're going to be creating a lot of jobs, and more people will be more experienced, all right? And instead of just a little bit, right? The current situation right now is more of people supporting each other, right? Not the government supporting the startups. So it's good for the ecosystem, but it's not good if you are outside the bubble of the ecosystem. So we need to make sure, because I give you an example, USA, I mean, 70% or 80% of their business is about tech startups. Silicon Valley is the richest neighborhood in the whole world. Why? Because it has the biggest startups or tech startups since ever. Okay. I mean, I can talk about countries such as Singapore. I can talk about UK. I can talk about Ukraine, which is really new in this. I mean, many governments are just like starting to dump in the idea of, you know, energies, exporters and importers. And the most important product right now for them is having an internet connection and a laptop. And that's it. Congratulations. If you have a property, you can solve it. So technology is the next, the next oil actually. That's what I can say. If you can be able to export your technology, man, you're rich. Your government also is rich. So that's what I can say.
Okay, so my question here is about education. What kind of system would like the Egyptian ecosystem need to be able to generate, let's say, as you have just mentioned, like these kind of entrepreneurs who have this kind of successful mentality? What do we need?
What we need, the first thing is actually motivate more international entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs to come here in Egypt. All right. I'm not gonna be saying give talks, but actually find startups over here, okay, with the help of Egyptian people. That's one thing. Second thing is we need to start educating the young and the youth, right, about startups or about ecosystem. Not particularly, right, teach them about entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is not taught actually. All right, this is something that you're born with. If you find, I mean, if you ask 99% of the entrepreneurs or the success founders, how did you learn this? It's like, no, I'm just like, I want to find a business. I mean, like for example, Steve Jobs used to sell orange juice. A lot of founders has been used to find problems. I mean, even my nephew, which is I consider him the next big thing. I mean, he's like 10 years old and he just decided to rent his bike and convinced his friends to rent their bikes, which is a business. He's generating around 100 pounds per week, which is really great. All right. So this is something that entrepreneurship is something that it's not taught, but what we can actually do is help them out. All right, teach them the corners and the sharp corners that they're going to get into it. All right, how they can be able to get fund, what the options for them. All right, how they can be able to take this as a business, not an emotional thing, because a lot of entrepreneurs over here, when they face failure, unfortunately, they either just like let it go, all right, and give up. And this is something not every entrepreneur. I mean, every entrepreneur, at least you have to fail like two or three, or maybe 5 times, okay, until you make something great. Okay, and look at Alibaba, all right, as a story for this, right? So number one is motivating, all right, or talking to international founders, all right, to come and find their startups, and of course ease all the obstacles in terms of flows and a lot of things, okay, so they can be able to find their startups. Number two is investment. I'm not going to be talking about investment. I'm going to be talking about media investment, which is spotlighting this. And instead of just in talk shows, I'm going to be talking about this next artist or this next actress or this next actor. Why not like talking to some young founders? I mean, me myself, been following, I'm not going to be saying Steve Jobs, but I've been following the idea of having a business since I was young. All right. I've been very excited. All right. When I find someone on TV talks about his success. Okay. I mean, same thing. I mean, let's find more role models for people. A lot of successful entrepreneurs over here. All right. So why not having them on TV? All right. Why not asking people, all right, to watch them? All right, this is something that's going to be motivating a lot of people. Like, instead of just I want to be an actor, I want to be a Maharaganat singer, or I want to be this. Why not being an entrepreneur in the future? Right, give them the option. I'm not going to be saying just like stop introducing those people to the public. No, introduce them, but also add another option, which is this entrepreneur has done something. Okay, also another thing. It's really important, all right, which is I talked about the laws. I think the most important thing about having an entrepreneur is to actually teach kids problem solving skills. This is how the startup field will be, or the ecosystem would be enhanced a lot. Because in Egypt, I can count while in 10 seconds, like 10 or 15 problems, right? How about if you teach a 6-year-old or 7 years old some problem solving skills, instead of just like complaining that we have this and this, find a way. This is going to be really important, really awesome. That's it.
So my next question here is about your software programming business. Where do you see technology in the business market?
Where I see technology, technology is being overused, I think. All right, now technology is not overused, all right, but it's overused in a certain way. Let me explain something. For me, technology is about leaps. And the current leap right now is about data. And the current leap right now is about artificial intelligence, all right, and machine learning, all right. But it's not about finding the best e-commerce website on the market. It's not about finding the best solution for car drivers on the market, okay? Those are solutions. But I'll tell you something. I mean, a lot of people right now are just taking the word technology like every website, all right, and every mobile application. And believe me, people are thinking about mobile applications before they think about a business, okay? So that's why I see that's overused. I mean, businesses should be businesses, okay? Tech businesses should be tech businesses. So if you have something that can be solved with technology, do it. If you have something that you can solve it, you don't have to find an app for it, all right? Just fix it, all right? That's it. But for me, technology was still a little bit behind in terms of artificial intelligence and or data science in general. Data science is really important. I think the government right now is taking this approach into data. Right, it started with the campaign of 100 million health. All right, it's really good campaign in terms of organizing the numbers. All right, in terms of how many people have diabetes, how many people have heart attacks, and these started the implementation process of having a healthcare system that started in Port Said, which is something really amazing. Okay, I think the use of data is really important. The use of data in general. All right, even just having Excel sheet. All right, I'm not talking about technology like big things to be happening, but just talking about regular things, data science. I'm talking about data analysis. Okay, I mean, when someone is like talking about a data scientist, you really think about this guy in Swordfish that have like a million screens, right? But actually, those people are just like dealing with Excel files. Literally, they built a project on Excel files. Okay, so those are really rare because not a lot of people in the market right now are considering the importance of data. All right, and when it comes to data, the most important thing also is cybersecurity. A lot of startups, unfortunately, in the current and the time being, are not taking care of their security. All right, so a lot of data breaches are happening. I'm not going to be mentioning names, all right, but there are certain startups and very successful startups in the past couple of months that has been not going to be hacked, but it has something called SQL injection, and people has acquired the database and they are selling that on the black market, which is, again, data is gold. If you have your data leaked, that's a problem. Okay, so before we ask about technology, let's just close the holes that we currently have: cybersecurity and the use of data over here in Egypt.
That is great. What else would you like to add about this topic today?
Well, I don't think I don't have something on my mind, but for me, what I can be able to advise people, or if I'm going to be talking to people, all right, is one thing: just like be persistent. Hard times right now are really hard, but at the same time are opportunities. So I'm expecting out of those that would be a lot of people that will be creating more opportunities. I really advise people to find solutions for the current problems. Hopefully 2021 is going to be the vaccine year, not the pandemic year. All right. And let's just continue on that. Take care of yourself. That's it. I'm not having anything else to add, actually. I've been talking a lot.
It has been great talking to you, Mohamed, today. Thank you so much for your great ideas.
No problem. No problem. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.